Hey, what's up with it, y'all? Welcome to my podcast, Cold Narratives. I'm your host, Iceberg Green. About to let y'all hear some of these cold narratives. Check it out. Okay, so today's topic, we back on this reparations and how California needs to kick in. They need to run that check in. California's always been a slave state. They've always practiced policies and laws to undermine black people, and they kept slavery lit in California. So it's time for them to acknowledge it and pay up. But this is from KTVU Channel 2 News. This they take on it. Check it out.
We deserve it.
Compensation, we can think about redlining.
California bears the stain of slavery. The question is how to atone for it. These are our stairs. These are the stairs I played on every day. Lynette Mackey is a Fillmore native. She remembers her childhood home seized in 1975 during San Francisco's urban renewal phase. We were on the top. My grandmother and grandfather on the bottom. We came in and out through the back doors. So the doors were always open. Those doors forcibly shut after the city said the home was condemned, despite her grandfather's pleas to bring it up to code. That denial was simply racist, she says. He fought until his death. The city only paid $26,000 for the home and gave the displaced family a certificate of preference, a fancy way of saying you're evicted. I'm now living in subsidized housing. My grandfather and my mother always said, you'll always have a home. You'll always have a home. This was paid for. You'll always have a home. And for someone to take it away, and now we don't always have that home.
See, the thing about it, people nowadays, this new generation, they actually are seeing this as like, wait a minute, you guys actually did that back in the day? I'm sure a lot of the white kids are like, Mom, Dad, you actually did, your grandparent, my great-granddaddy actually did this? Wow. So you got to think about that. Just imagine, us as black people, we found out that our family had enslaved a bunch of Asians or Hispanic people. We would look at our parents like, man, are you serious? You had to do all that? I mean, come on now. You can work with them. You had to just take them and turn them to slaves. So just think about that. It's a different mentality when it comes to Caucasian white people as opposed to black people. We don't go out to target other groups or try to undermine other groups or create laws and policies to undermine other groups. We just don't do it. And even if we had the power to do it, we wouldn't do it because we all about family, togetherness. We're not all about division. We're not into dividing. We're into bringing each other together. But, the perception of society is we don't. California has always been enriched in slavery. They don't want to talk about that. From San Bernardino to Hayward, California. They've always practiced slavery, whether it be through policies, laws, and people running from that. Look, y'all, it's an atrocity. It happened. It's wrong. Stop trying to run from it. Stop trying to erase history. You notice that how they don't have White History Month, because they know if they had one, they would have to tell about all the history and all the things that they've done in this society. So you got to think about, ask people, if you got a white friend or wherever, ask them, hey, why don't they have a White History Month? And I guarantee you in their head, they're going to be like, we really don't want to discuss that there. So we'll keep it Black history. Let's just focus on them because we don't want everyone to know what we did. So in California, they had a bunch of situations where people were taking their land was taken from them, property seized, eminent domain, basically saying that, at the time you were in a place where the city can actually come take it because they were going to use it for a project or something of that nature, eminent domain. So a lot of us face that, reverse mortgages and all the different things that they put in place just so they can, edge us out of the community. So, we on our way back, man. And this is part of reparations, is to get us back in our community. But check this out.
Scholars like UC Berkeley professor Javon Scott Lewis, who sits on the California Reparations Task Force, say the only way to atone for the legacy of slavery is through reparations, which isn't about a handout, but an outstanding debt.
When you try to, build a highway system, you have to demolish neighborhoods and homes in order to build those highways. And what we found is that the majority of those homes were in African-American communities.
So I'm gonna flip the script a little bit here. So, they always talk about redlining like the brother just spoke about. Now, I want y'all to take a good look at those bike lanes. It costs $1 million per square mile. I think 1.4 or 4 million per square mile that building those bike lanes. And they say up to $1 billion a year just building bike lanes. So, this is a new modern day red line in these bike lanes. So pay attention to that. Just like they did with the freeways all up through our cities and the neighborhoods and the ghetto and the community. They're doing the same thing with these bike lanes. You notice where they got them at. They're pushing them straight through our community to where, like I said, it becomes more comfortable, more accessible for them. more convenient for them to live. And just to add emphasis on that, when I look at these bike lanes, I look at all the new infrastructure, I look at all this stuff, I'm like, wow, this looks really nice. But when I've been the corner in my hood, I look at all these potholes. I look at all the streets that are coming apart, that you can't even walk a child in a stroller down because the infrastructure so messed up in our community. But the bike lanes, oh man, they painted so perfectly. They look so new, but my community looks horrible, tarnished, old. But the bike lanes look new. So I mean, and they're spending a lot of money on these bike lanes, $1 billion per year, like 4.5 million per square mile. That's a lot of money. And look at all the bike lanes around your city. Just look around and look at all that money that they spent in your city that you didn't even know all this money that it cost this much. 4.5 million per square mile, $1 billion a year on bike lanes. So y'all, this is the new redlining. So we need our reparations with that check. We need to level this playing field. And this is part of reparations, is to get us back in our community. But check this out.
Lewis says Black homeowners like Mackey's family didn't get fair payouts on homes seized through eminent domain in the 60s and 70s.
They, as a result, lost intergenerational wealth that property, and especially in a state like California, right, would have developed.
Mackey hopes for reparations in her lifetime through investment funds that support Black homeownership.
Where I'm able to actually purchase a home and have a home to leave for my kids.
California's exploration of reparations hasn't borne any fruit yet, like cash payments, but the chair of the California Reparations Task Force says it gives Black residents control over their own futures.
It restores the idea of self-determination for our community.
Let me just throw this out there. $4.5 million per square mile, $100 billion a year. Yeah, y'all got it. And I don't want to hear y'all ain't got it in California. If y'all can allocate $1 billion per year to bike lanes, come on, y'all. It's homeless people that don't even have a bike. And you just think about this. You are spending millions and millions of dollars to build bike lanes for people to ride straight by homeless people. And they're riding by on a new bike lane that was created for them. And nothing was created for these homeless people that they're riding by all day in East, West, and North Oakland under them tunnels, man. And then bike lanes, like I said, they real fresh and painted freshly. And our community, our homeless people are not looking too clean. So that's just, you think about that, man.
Damien Posey, affectionately known around his Bayview neighborhood as Uncle Damien, agrees.
I love my community with all of my heart.
But living in that community was tough.
Of course, we struggled. I remember standing in the welfare lines, getting that brick of cheese and that powdered eggs.
With a young mother and an absent father, he had to step into manhood early.
But I took it upon myself to try to support my family and help out, which led me to making some bad decisions in and out of juvenile hall.
And then came the bloodshed.
I was shot when I was 12 years old, and then 4 other times throughout my young years.
He also had his share of legal troubles, but now he's making the most of his second chance at life by uplifting his community. 6 years ago, he started Us for Us, a youth violence prevention program.
Young people deserve a safe space, a non-judgment space where they can come get some support, love, a snack, de-stress.
But he needs help. Working with a shoestring budget, he says reparations would give the future generation of Black children advantages he didn't have.
I do all this on my own. I don't get no support, no funding from the city, no nothing. I get some amazing donations from time to time, but it's all on Uncle Damien.
And I'm a Black man, Black business owner, small business, in my community. I do entertainment, things of that nature, talent searches. I do websites. I do all kinds of stuff, and it's hard, like the brother said, to get capital and to expand your venture. It's hard for us Black men to get that capital. So we have to work extra hard. And there's nothing wrong with that because we've always been working extra hard. But now I just, I have to say to the government, y'all need to level this playing field, because for us to have these high interest rates, when we go to the bank and say, hey, this is how much I make every year, I'm thinking about, I could probably estimate close to 100,000, whatever it is a year. And they say to you, well, sir, our numbers say you have to make 300,000, 400,000 a year for us to deal with you. What I will say, I can actually see the expressions and the looks on their face when I walk outside as a Black man, entrepreneur, business owner. When I deal with them, they be surprised, like, oh man, it's a Black man. Okay, yeah, I'll deal with you. I'm just telling y'all, as a black man business owner, even black women, I'm sure you guys go through this as well. When they see your aura, when they see you mean business, it knocks the wind out of them because they're like, damn, I can't manipulate him. I can't get over him. I have to come with him straight across the board. And that's what I'm trying to get these government to understand. Come at black people straight across the board. Level the playing field. As simple as that. It's a debt. You owe it. Pay it. All right, y'all. I'm out. I want to thank you all for tuning in. I also want to say God bless those going through the struggle. And make sure you watch out for them cold narratives that the government trying to push on us, y'all. And to all my black people, I will be nothing without y'all. God bless you all.